even friendlier. Sayang wala na akong oras mag-TikTok ay mag-Twitter. And that's Facebook yan, live. Sige, let's get the ball rolling. Okay tayo RJ dun sa El Profesional Camera. May timer tayo. Pagod tayo sa traffic. Whew. Go. Hindi, si Kuya. Ay, on na rin yan. Wala siyang timer.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, rolling.
Kumana tayo? Okay na? Yeah, okay. Alright, welcome back everyone to the latest episode of RRM, your faboritong... Charot. Ano? Ulitin. Sige. Woo! Let's go! Alright. 1, 2, 3. Welcome back everyone to the latest episode of RRM, your paboritong Marias, Tres Marias, Super Marios, the best political marites in the town. Of course, today we have with us again, aka marami yan, Edu Manzanas. May bago na ako, Jonathan Morales, kasi ang hirap niyang kasama. Pinapahamak niya ako parang ginawa ni Jonathan Morales kay Bato. Of course, 0.6% Senate movement, future ex-Senator Secretary Ronald Llamas. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. At siya ang pinakamaga kanina. Kung kailan lahat kami untik mamatay sa traffic, siya pa yung maaga. Salamat, Sir Ronald, for joining us. At of course, kasama din natin dito ang vlogger extraordinaire. Hindi siya self-proclaimed na vlogger like me, pero siya talagang legit na legit yan. And one of the persons, if not the person, behind this whole podcast universe I've entered over the years. So I'm very thankful for teaming up with this person. The Manila LGU expert in the town, Attorney Mark Gamboa. Thank you for joining us, bro.
Tunay na vlogger yan.
Yeah, yun.
Ikaw nagpapanggap ka lang.
Ako, self-proclaimed.
Tapos yung iba naman, mga fans mo, binabanatan ka na hindi ka daw political analyst, vlogger ka
Vlogger
daw.
na yan.
So ano ba talaga?
Ang tawag dyan, embarrassment of riches. Yan, it's like, okay, now, just to show na legit tayo, anyone can be a vlogger, amazing people, wonderful people, but not everyone can get great people in the house. At of course, isa sa mga pinaka-proudest element sa akin is since naging vlogger ako, marami akong napapatawa. Kahapon dun sa isang podcast episode ko, kasama namin ulit si Admiral Ong. Parang ako lang nagpatawa sa kanya in 40 years yata. May nagsabi, but the other one. At nag-usap kami ni Lord De Vera kahapon, kanino siya nagsasmile more? With me or with you? At of course, kasama po natin ngayon si Justice Anthony Carpio. Thank you very much, Justice.
Thank you, Richard, for having me.
Pleasure. Justice, medyo podcaster tayo kung pwede kayo lumapit. Yes. Parang ako na stage fright, na starstruck ako kasi parang sa Zoom lang tayo, na joke lang. Parang tayong kasama nagsasawan. No, Justice, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, maraming nangyari sa West Philippine Sea, yung sa Escoda, sa Binashol. We can have conversation soon also about a little bit of Alisco and China. But I want to first start closer to home. Before Davao, let's talk about UP Law. Of course, one of the greatest professors of UP Law's history, I'm being a bit sarcastic, is Harry Roque, who is now on the Manhunt. Justice Carpio, is that the correct way of putting it? Tama ba yung sinabi ng newspaper na may manhunt for Harry Roque? See, I told you. This is what happens.
Bakit ikaw pwede ka magkaroon, ako hindi?
Oo nga.
Sir, mag-usap tayo.
Ba't ako magkaganoon? Hindi ako politically correct.
Tingnan mo yung sagot niya. Ronald, learn. This is how we do it. Justice, go ahead.
Well, first of all, sabi niya he's not a fugitive.
Yes.
Right.
Pero technically he's not a fugitive because there is no warrant of arrest.
Right.
But if you are ordered to appear before the Senate, the police will still take you in. We'll still
Right.
get hold of you to enforce that order, no? So it's a technicality lang. But you will still be brought physically to the Senate even against your will. So parang arrest na rin yun. And you will be detained in the Senate, no? Until the Senate hearing is over. So ano lang, technicality lang yun. I mean, pero ang effect is pareho. Dudukutin siya.
So so Ronald, ayaw na magsalita.
Napanood ko kasi, Justice, yung kanyang Facebook post na medyo mahaba. No? Marami siyang squid tactics na naman ang kinagamit doon. Pero yung isa niyang binanggit ay hindi pwedeng hingiin sa kanya ng Congress yung mga papeles niya, SALN, bank accounts, etc., which may incriminate him. Yun ang sinasabi niya, no? Siyempre, yung mga walang alam sa ganun ay hindi alam kung sinasabi ba niya ay totoo o hindi, no? Pero basically, kine-question niya yung role ng Congress para hingiin yung mga documents na yon na naging basis ng kanyang contempt at naging basis ng kanyang pagtago at naging basis ng pagbuo ng PNP at saka NBI ng team para siya ay hulihin. No? So dikit-dikit yung kanyang kaya ang ginawa niya daw ay nagsampa siya ng kaso sa Supreme Court para sabihan
Dami niyang
meron siyang ini-invoke na mga
Jurisprudence.
Yung kay Lopa, yung panahon ni Cory, na nagdesisyon daw yung Supreme Court tungkol dun sa limits ng contempt or powers ng Congress. Very limited naman ang alam ko dyan dahil hindi naman ako lawyer.
Wait, Ronald, parang nung hindi siya nandito, very confident ka. Ngayon, na may justice. Ayaw biglang, hindi ako expert, wala akong sinasabi.
Unlike nung dati, no?
Pag tayo medyo confident ka sa legal analysis.
Pero alam ko, Justice, very expansive ang role ng Congress, yung kanyang legislative inquiry powers. Supreme Court lang ang pwedeng magdikta kung ano ba yung limits niya.
Yeah.
Pero parang si Harry Roque, siya yung nagsasabi kung ano yung limits.
Well, ang basic basic decision ng Supreme Court, you have to appear before the Senate, before the committee, before whether House or the Senate, and you cannot invoke self-incrimination until the question is asked, and the answer will call for incriminating.
Doon mo pwedeng invoke.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can invoke it only because speculative baka hindi tanongin yung question na yun So you have really to appear. So you cannot hide. Yun ang mali ni no? You have to appear, and it's when the question is asked which incriminates you, that's when you say I will not answer.
My right
invoke.
to self-incrimination.
Ngayon wala pa siya ma-invoke Second, yung sabi niya na he will not submit his SALN. Well, he already committed to submit his SALN. No? He promised that. Now, if he does not submit, the Senate can, or the House can always subpoena it from the Ombudsman, kasi everybody files with the Ombudsman.
Yes.
No? And that's exactly what happened in the impeachment of CJ Rene Corona at the time.
Yeah.
Makukuha yun if the House or House Committee will subpoena it. Ibibigay yun. No?
Ano yung sinasabi niya na sinampa niya sa Supreme Court? Sa kaso para siya ay hindi para sabihin na walang right yung Congress na siya ay i-contempt or ipahanap. Ano yun? Hindi ko masyadong maunawaan yung
Well, I haven't read the petition, but as I said, basic na you have to appear, and only when the incriminating question is asked can you say I will not answer. Kasi,
But you cannot say it's incriminating to begin with, so I'm not categoric. Di ba? Parang ganun yung ginawa niya.
ang problema yan, pag sinabi mo incriminating, baka there's something to
Eliminate
to the question. Yun ang problema noon. Kaya katulad na sinabi mo na ayaw niya i-submit yung SALN niya.
at saka bank documents, etc. No?
Ito, tanong ko, Justice. Kasi ang nilalabas niya sa media, ang kanyang reklamo, hinaing ni Tatay Harry, ay masyado na daw naaapektuhan yung kanyang pamilya Okay? At yung kanyang marriage is being affected dahil dito sa mga
Medyo
tanong
nag-jump
at
ka
sa
agad yung discussion na
Hindi
yan.
kay Harry Roque pa rin sa mga inquiry sa kanya, 'di ba? Na naapektuhan daw yung marriage. Ang tanong ko, normal ba yung meron kang joint account doon sa doon sa assistant mo? Hindi kaya yun yung
Nananalo
dahilan
ng
bakit-
Mr. Supranational. Oh.
Normal ba yung gano'n na parang nag-joint account?
Tapos pwede kang mag-withdraw anytime, di ba?
Oo.
Oh, yun pa, di ba? Oo.
Yung isa kasing sinabi niya doon sa kanyang
Conjugal.
Facebook na yung hinihingi sa kanya are not relevant to the inquiry. Ang limited na alam ko, hindi naman ikaw as a resource person na magpapasya kung ano yung relevant sa inquiry. Di ba, magpapasya niyan yung committee.
Nagpa-prejudge na siya. Yun ang sinasabi ko categorical.
Kaya sabi ko, parang mali yung sinasabi niya.
Well, kasi his connection to the POGOs is being established.
Yes.
He appeared as a lawyer. Sabi niya hindi, pero he accompanied Cathy Ong.
Cassandra
Ong. So
tumawag siya several times.
several
para i-follow
times,
up.
no? So madaming circumstances that he appeared to be a lawyer. So pwede nang tanungin yung ibang anything related to that, no? So pwedeng tanungin na magkano binayad sa iyo, or are you being paid a retainer? So
Ang sabi ni Congressman Luis Tro, kahit hindi siya binayaran, effectively, siya ay abogado.
yeah, because if you give advice as a lawyer, that's already lawyering.
Yes.
Kahit na hindi ka pa nabayaran, no?
Sige, Ronald, kuha ka pa ng analysis. Gagamitin natin mamaya.
Or yung bayad, hindi official.
So in simplest terms, how deep in is Harry? I mean, gaano kalalim yung problema niya considering the preponderance of evidence and all of this political stuff. I mean, one of the things I noticed, Justice Carpio, is no one is defending Harry, not even you. Not DDS, no one is defending
Kasi
him.
namin tatay niya, magkamukha kasi.
Pero hindi siya nag-isa. So Justice, how deep he is in the trenches, if I can put it that way.
Well, it's pretty serious because if you are ordered to appear as a resource person, if there's a subpoena, you have to appear. The only time you can say I will not answer is after the question is asked and it's really
Right.
incriminating. Ngayon, he just doesn't want to appear. Delikado yun.
O yun. May precedents ba tayo ng ganon?
Parang ang final niya TRO Hindi ko alam kung anong klase ng TRO. Yung sa Supreme Court.
Well,
Parang
the
ini-invoke niya
president
yung-
is Quiboloy.
Yes, which is a perfect segue to our next discussion, Justice Carpio. Speaking of Quiboloy, of course, I've been always egging you on your fellow Davaeños. Ayan na, nahuli na, finally. Were you surprised by the level of restraint and professionalism, at least that's my read, of General Torre and the Philippine National Police? The fact that they made sure walang gulong mangyari. And I also want to ask you, Justice, last year lang ba na-discovering human rights at due process sa Davao? Yung yung Constitutional School of Torreon, Dean Torreon. Parang very concerned sila ngayon sa due process at saka human rights. What's the state of jurisprudential debate? Ano yung mga schools of thought dyan, Justice?
Well, it doesn't only, it's even former President Duterte is now
A human rights advocate.
He's now
Yes.
a human rights advocate and asking for due process.
Yes.
Asking for fair hearing.
Right.
As if they gave Laila de Lima what they're asking now, no?
And tens of thousands of alleged victims of EJK, yeah.
Yeah, but you have to give a little leeway to lawyers because they're defending a client and
Right.
they're supposed to exert every effort to defend their client within legal means, of course, no.
Right. And how good was the effort in terms of the
Well, ang problema is I think the PNP knew that he was there in that compound.
Yeah.
So alam nila na andun talaga and of course the lawyers tried to throw off the PNP na wala na doon. Even Sara Duterte also said something to to raise doubt that Quiboloy is still there, that probably went out of the country already. But well, nahuli na, no? So
Pero
and-
Justice, yung ganun bang sinasabi ng mga lawyer, ano sinasabi ng iba na sila ay bordering on obstruction and harboring? Totoo ba yun? May ganun bang possibility?
well, definitely harboring wala kasi hindi naman
Hindi man nila hawak.
hindi nila hawak, and the compound does not belong to Turion, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yung ano sabi mo, obstruction, I don't think it has reached that point, no? For
What should they do now to be counted as now? There's an evidence that they knew where he was and all, but they didn't share, or they wanted to prevent physically the police from apprehending him. Like, what will
Pati
you
nga
base
daw online kasi kahit yung mga nagmi-mislead sa mga online posts, pwede bang mangyari yung ganun?
Or attacking the police
Or
and all
attacking
that,
the police.
to distract them. Oh.
Iba yung inaatake.
well, pagdating kasi sa speech, we're very liberal, no? Because we're very protective of speech. Unless the speech invites immediate violence from the one
Incitement to
hearing the speech.
incitement to.
So ito hindi naman siguro, and the PNP I think knew that, you know, these people are trying to mislead them. So alam naman.
Squid. But by the way, General Torion, Torre. General Torre said, ito interesting he didn't develop that argument fully, I don't know for whatever reason. Sabi niya, yung dahilan na nag-surrender si Quiboloy, of course he said joke time yung sinasabi nila na heroic sacrifice or yung sa military daw, sabi niya hindi, definitely this was police operation. Nag-surrender daw siya kasi dun sa building na yan, baka may mahuli. Parang may tinatago pa daw siya. I mean, I think the implication is there could be minors there or something like that, or some really incriminating evidence daw na parang nag-preemptive surrender na lang siya para hindi susugurin yung building. That's what he told me.
Or baka para hindi itigil yung paghuhukay doon sa mga tunnel tsaka bunker, na baka may mga evidence or baka may wealth na
tinatago.
unexplained.
Yeah, exactly. Yun nga eh. That was an interesting point
Pero
he said.
all of that is hypothetical.
So yung actual bunker ba hindi nahanap?
Parang hindi.
Kasi kung hindi nahanap, baka gamitin uli.
Because he surfaced, he went out of the
Yun
building.
nga eh.
Tigil na yung
So
search.
there were, bakit daw nag-surrender? Yung theory na may tinatago siya. So inuna na lang niya bago namin malaman what's going on. Diba?
Hindi, pero hindi ba ang pagiging problema dyan, paano pag merong ibang nagtago, yun ulit ang gamitin? So paano hukayin na naman ganun? So hindi ba...
Kasi ang hawak nila is a warrant of arrest. Wala silang search warrant eh.
Okay.
So humingi sila ng search warrant and they
Yes.
can search it.
So yun kasi magsa-stumble into sila. Oh hindi, warrant of arrest lang. Bigla may malaman.
Nahuli na yung
Nahuli na eh.
yung may warrant. So tigil na.
Tigil
Oh, exactly. So
Ngayon, kung may hinahanap ka mga barel at ginamit mo yung search warrant, pwede magpatuloy yun.
ikaw Sir Ronald, may warrant ba sa
Wala pa eh.
yung AK-47?
ang tanong ko din, ito parati ko tinatanong pag may episode tayo, anong mangyayari doon sa property? Anong mga posibleng what will happen?
Parati kang concerned sa...
syempre, pera.
Kasi wala ka na kay Harry eh. Wala naman.
Nagulat ako sa sinabi ni Secretary Remulla
Ano
na
sa-
pwedeng kunin ng gobyerno
Yung,
yung properties ni Quiboloy. Pwede ba yun?
Pwede ba yun? Oo.
Well, depende kung kanino niya niligay yung ownership. Kasi pwede siya he could have created a corporation soul, no? Yung religious corporation soul, like yung bishop, that's really a corporation soul. All the properties of the bishopric are held by the bishop, but in trust for the people, for the faithful, the members. And if the bishop dies, the next bishop takes over.
Right.
Because the bishop does not really own it. It's
Right.
owned by the faithful. Now, I don't know how Quiboloy structured
Yung
his,
corporate structure, yeah,
whether he used a corporation soul or not, no? Siguro, the way I look at it, the way because of what other people say, mukhang he put it in ordinary corporations. So, mukhang hindi niya sinasabi na this belongs to the faithful. It belongs to him.
And then Duterte being the administrator, how does that play this into
Well,
this?
administrator of the property to just keep it there in the meantime.
Maintenance, ganun.
Maintenance lang. So, I think
So he cannot sell it or...
He
Yeah,
cannot-
he cannot sell it. But I think the people who should be interested most on how those properties are structured are the members. Kasi
Shareholder, yeah.
it is the faithful contributed to
Yes.
to acquire those properties, no?
Yes, yes.
And it should belong to the faithful. Katulad sa Catholic Church, the bishop, the cardinal, even the pope does not own it really, no?
Yes. Pero yung mga kulto kasi, yung cults kasi, usually, hierarchical yung structure.
Yes,
So,
yun ang
nakasentro.
yun ang tatanungin dapat ng members ng Kingdom of Jesus Christ. Sino bang may-ari nitong mga assets na ito? Yung 30-hectare compound, yung Coliseum nila, biggest in the
SMNI.
world.
SMNI. Sino may-ari talaga ng SMNI?
KOJC.
Sino may-ari ng KOJC?
Yun nga.
Yeah, but what KOJC could just be, is that a corporation? So,
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
we don't know eh.
So kung mag-move in yung government to take over, anong pwede nilang ikaso? Kunyari, na galing sa ill-gotten wealth yung ginamit doon sa mga property na yon. So,
Anong lever ang gagamitin
Oh, anong-
nila? Legal lever to take over.
Well, because yung ill-gotten naman, hindi naman ito government eh, no? So, it's, ang ano dyan, it should belong to the members. I mean, that's the fairest.
Yeah.
That's the most fair. It should belong to the members because they contributed.
So walang basis yung sinasabi ni Secretary Remulla na pwedeng kunin ng gobyerno.
Well, pwedeng kunin if it's the proceed of a crime. Like, for example, kasi may human trafficking, may
laundering.
money laundering, then that can be seized in favor of the government, forfeited, because that's the proceed
so
of
si
the crime.
AMLAC pwedeng gumalaw to kung meron siya makita na
Yeah. Pag nakita
money
that
laundering.
there was money laundering, pwede yun. Pwede kunin ng state yun.
Ah.
Because that's a crime eh.
Right.
But if it's the contribution of the members because they are part of the religious group, walang crime yun eh. No?
So paano yung justice? Let's say Ronald and Mark will convert. In an hour, they'll be part of the community of KGC.
I identify as
Yes,
a KOJC
yes,
member.
parang ganon. Like, I truly believe. Anong kwentahan dyan? Ano yan? Divided ba?
Hindi pwedeng retroactive yun.
Ano ba yan?
Dapat dati pa kami miyembro.
May admin.
Dapat bago sumugod si Torre, member ka na. Oo, hindi na pwede pagkatapos.
Or.
Nakikihati kami, hindi naman kami
Uh,
nag-contribute.
Wala kayo nung hinuhukay.
He's still in the country. So, bago siya mag-extradite, baka... Speaking of extradition, Ambassador Romualdez said it's almost inevitable. I think he went as far as saying that papunta na tayo dyan.
Pero medyo malabo yung sabi kasi ni Babes.
Yun nga eh.
Sabi niya dati, kailangan tapusin daw muna yung mga kaso
In the
dito.
Philippines, yeah.
Pero at the same time, sinasabi niya inevitable. Anong ibig sabihin nun? No?
Inevitable in 20 years. What's your read of that in terms of U.S. aspect, U.S. pressure?
Well, we expect that the U.S. will request for extradition. The Philippine response can either be, okay, we'll allow extradition now. We'll allow the U.S. to take a first crack to prosecute him. And after that, we will prosecute him. Or it can be the reverse. We will prosecute him first. After that, we'll turn him over to you. So, either way, no?
So bottom line, Justice, it's nasa discretion ng state.
Yeah,
ng
it's
estado.
it's the
walang fixed na rules.
Wala.
Hindi ba dadaan sa court yan in terms of determination of applicability of the extradition treaty?
Well, the extradition law says you have to file the petition for extradition. The DOJ will file it, no?
Right.
With the RTC. And
Exactly, RTC, yeah.
And then, if it's adverse to the person, he can appeal to the CA, Court of Appeals, and then finally to the Supreme Court.
So he can fight yung kanyang extradition.
Yeah, that could take a long
That could take years,
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Kailangan lang niyang paabutin ng
Sarah.
2028.
Yeah, it
Or
could take
earlier.
a long time, but in the meantime, the trial here for the Philippine crime
Continues.
will go on.
Right. So tatlo na yan, di ba? One is in QC, one is in Pasig, and then there's another one in Davao also, di ba? But the non-bailable one is
in
Pasig.
Pasig.
Yeah.
Actually, kahit theoretically ay pwedeng i-drug, depende sa political will ng gobyerno yan. Pwede nilang pabilisin yan. Meron kang iba't ibang mga...
Ronald, how
formal-
dare you
formal
question
and
the independence
informal.
of our courts?
Nasa aeroplano ka na, parang ang
Sinasabi ko
hirap
nga,
yung pigilan.
sinasabi ko nga, may mga informal pressure.
Ayan.
Isasakay na lang siya bigla C-130.
Walang sinasabi si
Hindi,
Ronald.
Gising niya, nasa ano na.
Rendition yun.
But the way I see it, Quiboloy will question the extradition. The GOJ will file. It will take time kasi RTC, CA, Supreme Court pa yan. In the meantime, there will be trial because that will proceed.
Right. Are you optimistic about the direction of this whole Quiboloy saga? I mean, do you think this could be the beginning of something even bigger in terms of holding some of the religious groups accountable? Kasi just a few months ago, we were in a territory of people invoking separation of church and state. Diba yun ang ginagawa ni Robin Hood, our constitutional law expert in Senate, right?
May precedents pa dyan, Justice, sa ganyang klaseng more or less similar na.
Where the person being extradited can raise religious freedom.
Yeah. And at the same time, yung pace ng local courts vis-a-vis extradition. Wala kasi ako alam ng mga precedents.
I can't remember right now of a situation where he was charged in the US and here, and we made a choice kung sino mauna. I can't remember.
That's a crazy situation. We're finding how invincible or invulnerable supposedly Quiboloy was. I mean, how much of impunity was shattered with this move by the PNP and him facing justice right now? Because this is the Beshi of Duterte, right? They were like kind of the Siamese twins in power in Davao. They had a joint kingdom in many ways, you can say, right?
Well, it shows that finally the administration is getting their act together and getting their instructions implemented at the precinct level, because but they had to replace the police in the precincts now in Davao.
Is that your phone, Justice? Whose phone is that? May tumatawag ba? Medyo nasabayan tayo ng may maingay din tayong kapitbahay dyan mamaya. Yes, please go ahead.
So the case can be heard here while it's being appealed, so it's very interesting, no? So
it's yeah.
Baka yan ang maging president.
Olympics pala tayo. This will be a precedent setting. No? Kaya nga, historic.
Reklamo yung abogado ni Pastor Quiboloy Kasi wala daw music doon sa kanyang definition. Wala daw social media.
Walang massage.
Oo, tinanong pa.
Actually, meron siyang appeal na house arrest. At yung house arrest doon sa Prayer Mountain.
Grabe.
Balik na naman siya doon sa bunker.
Doon.
Tapos hanapin.
Tapos meron pang request for hospital arrest. Halos sabay-sabay yung kanilang mga request
Nagsishopping na naman sila. Tapon-tapon na naman. Tapon-tapon. Now, going back to tapon-tapon, may man nagsabi ng tapon ng pera yung iba dyan doon sa Duran ba yan? Nagdurian. Yung, Justice, what is your take on the BBM enjoying himself on birthday? Wala naman mali, diba? But flying in, it's so London, it's so New York. Makano daw ginastos? 700? 1 million?
Di natin alam.
But it was not cheap. I'm sure it was not charity.
Yung nasa rate card is around $1 million.
So,
Yung
55
usual
million.
na payment nila.
Yeah.
Siyempre, may enterprise pa yan. First class, hotels,
May
etc.
gift pa yan. Siguro watch na expensive, mga ganun.
So, hindi natin sure. Pero yun ang tanong ko, Justice, dahil kung sila ang gumastos, halimbawa, si BBM or pamilya niya, hindi masyadong
legally exposed
sa RA 3019, no? Anti-graft and Corrupt Practices Law. Pero kung mga kaibigan nila, mas vulnerable Dahil, di ba, mas klaro yun.
Yeah. What is the legal and ethical conversation there?
Kung sila kasi ang gumastos, mas imagery at saka ang problema.
Well, it's clear. First of all, the Constitution says public officials shall lead modest lives. No? That's basic. That's
Code of ethics na.
And then you have the Code of Ethics for government employees. Repeats that.
Yeah.
Public officials shall lead modest lives. And also there's the anti-graft law, which says anything like giving gifts like that. No? So, it's not a good PR for them, really.
Yeah, they keep on doing that, no? I mean, and then this
That's
is
on
on.
defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yeah, imagine the momentum they had. Alice Go, Quiboloy, now fugitive manhunt, whatever you want to call it for Harry Roque, and then suddenly na-shift na naman yung discussion to the other side. On top of the PhilHealth, right, scandal we have been discussing for the past 2 months or so. Ano yung latest, Justice Carpio, as of mid-September? What is the status of that? What you see as very scandalous and illegal, the unconstitutional?
Nasa Supreme Court yung
Yeah, well,
Sila Cielo.
yeah, there's a petition already filed with the Supreme Court. That's a group of Cielo Magno.
Yeah.
Our group, the Sambayan, will be filing suit
Separately po.
separate.
What's the difference in what is the difference? But iba yung case nyo? Iba yung angle?
Yes, we're filing our case on a different ground, on a different ground.
Can you explain, like, for
because,
layman?
Kasi under the Constitution, the President can transfer savings from one item to another within the judicial
Right.
executive branch. So it's authorized by law to transfer savings.
Right.
They authorize the department to do it, to transfer the excess funds. They call it excess funds.
Right.
Daily savings from PhilHealth to other items. No? So that's our basic ground. You cannot authorize the secretary. It's only the president.
Right.
Pero sinasabi nila, naglagay sila ng rider sa GAA, no? Para daw maging hindi malabag yung mga existing kwan.
But it's very clear that the Constitution only authorizes the president. It's only the president who can transfer by delegation by Congress in a law. Dinelegate nila si Recto to shield the president. So mali na yun. Second, ang kinuha nilang pera yung PhilHealth funds.
Yes.
PhilHealth funds are special funds raised through taxation for a specific purpose.
Right.
Under the Constitution, if it's a special fund raised through taxation for a specific purpose, it cannot be used for any other purpose
Right.
until that purpose has been accomplished or abandoned by law. Hindi pa naman, not all of us are getting the benefits under PhilHealth. So, hindi pa na-accomplish yung purpose. So, the funds of PhilHealth can't be used for any other purpose.
Yeah.
So that's that one. Even Congress cannot pass a law saying that it can be used for another purpose.
Yes. Anong ginagamit nilang legal term of reference to justify what they did?
Well, they're not saying na hindi naman savings. But if it's not savings, why are you transferring it?
Right. Medyo magulo, diba?
So they'll have a hard time. So we raised that, and also we said that if the law says the fund can be used for health only, it's special fund, and you divert it and use it for another purpose, technical malversation.
Yeah.
If the amount is more than 50 million pesos and it's more than once, you do it more than once, ito tranches na ito eh.
Right.
Parang plunder na.
Pero yung pong nasasabi din na yung part daw ng funds ay nagamit for healthcare workers na benefits daw. Na parang yung sa mga pandemic na frontliners.
Saying na the health workers during the pandemic, no?
Right.
But that's not for the
PhilHealth.
PhilHealth. Secondly, but then they're only saying part. Yung the rest will be used for something else. It's still unconstitutional, even if you say na, okay, that's covered
Yeah.
Hindi pa rin it
Sa-
will
ano,
not
Justice, ang sabi ng Supreme Court, they will decide on January. By that time, baka naubos na yung pera,
Yeah.
90 billion.
Yeah.
Elections.
Kung sakaling gumawa sila ng decision in favor doon sa mga petitioners, mababawi pa ba yun? Kung halimbawa nabigay na, paano?
Well,
Ano yun
if let's say
I asked the Senate,
after the funds were transferred already and the Supreme Court will decide, say it's unconstitutional, if the funds are still there, it will be returned.
Yes.
But if the funds
Kung
were
nagastos
disbursed
na.
already, nobody can return
Oo.
it.
So, ano na lang, accountability na lang. Oh.
Well, they will say that ang defense naman ng government official suspend it already. Said,
Wala naman ruling nun.
yeah, there was a law and we are in good faith.
Yeah.
They will use good
May
faith.
regularity.
Medyo,
But-
yeah.
But that's why we're saying to prevent that situation where the funds will be spent and later on it will be declared unconstitutional, mag-TRO na ngayon.
Yun nga to just suspend the process for now, to freeze the situation. Kasi by January, wala na yan.
Kung hindi sila magtitiyaro, it can be moot and academic. Kahit
Yeah.
halimbawa manalo yung petitioners.
Yeah.
Na ito
Yes,
ay
it can be.
unconstitutional. Yeah.
But precedents for future at least. But precedents for future?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they cannot do it again in
Yeah,
2025.
8 for 2028. Oo. Or ahead of the next election.
Yeah,
I mean, of course. I'm
2025, no?
Oo.
But I think, to prevent that situation, there should be a TRO.
Right. Now, Justice...
So, ang ifa-file nyo, hindi lang yung constitutionality. Ang ifa-file nyo is also for TRO?
Yeah, we're asking, sila Chelo din, the present petition, they ask also for a
Okay.
TRO.
Yeah.
Pero the Supreme Court, in the resolution, only scheduled it for January. They were silent on the TRO. So
right.
I think the Supreme Court could still decide on the TRO.
TRO. Oh,
soon.
kasi January may be too late na.
Because they could have decided first the schedule and then the TRO in their next meetings now.
Right. Now, Justice, let's also talk about Alice Go as we go towards the China issue. I mean, obviously, si Waping Go. Do you see any value to the latest hearings that are coming out, or do you think this thing should be now passed on to the relevant agencies na tapos na yung dapat yung public hearings and all of that? Is enough coming out, or is just this is becoming a political fiesta, carnival?
Well, I think there's reason, there's a ground to continue because they still don't know who are the principals. Who's behind Alice Go, because if they have to craft legislation, they should address that issue, no?
In what specific way? So a former PNP chief is being accused of
Well, only for
potentially-
helping her escape, no?
Right.
But who is really the capitalist here? Who owns those structures, no? Because that's 5 billion peso structures.
Yeah. And you doubt that she's the one.
7 billion.
Yeah.
So we have to find out who owns these structures and how we can forfeit these structures now. Because Alice Go is saying, I don't own those structures.
So tama sila Bato and Robin Hood na talagang matreten yung life nila. I mean, if she's gonna laglag the big guys, 'di ba? Mayari siya, 'di ba? I mean, what can
Kaya
she
pala
be
sinundo nila Ben-Hur, no?
Yeah.
Kasi,
baka yayarin on
oo,
the road. I mean, witness
para,
protection
ano,
program, is that a potential way forward? But yun nga, baka she'll use it to escape accountability. I mean, what is the balanced way forward?
Well, you must not be the most guilty. You must
Yeah.
be the least guilty,
Accessory or
or
something.
not least not the most guilty to be a
WPP,
witness.
yeah.
Kasama
State
rin ba,
witness.
Justice, na dapat lumabas bago ipasa sa relevant courts ay yung sino yung mga enablers sa gobyerno na tumulong?
Yun nga
Is
eh.
that part of the dapat in aid of legislation? No?
Well, in aid of legislation, you can say that we have to proceed further to find out how they actually did this. But
Right.
not for purposes of prosecution, because that's
Yes.
the executive yan eh. But they can say that we need to continue because we need to know how this came about.
Yeah, yung mga butas. I mean, for instance, medyo nalaman natin yung mga butas sa late registration.
Yeah, like for
Right, yeah.
example, in the late registration
Right.
of birth, if you register late by 1 year, it's only the civil registrar who will decide to grant or not to
Yeah.
grant. Maybe because of the lateness, you should throw it to another body.
Yeah.
maybe 2 or 3 people to decide, no?
More layers of
Yeah,
scrutiny.
yeah, just to ano.
But is there a way for Alice Guo to para I'm asking for the Alice Guo fans.
Ayan ka na naman,
Ayan naman tayo. Is there a way for her na maipasok like to be a state witness or meron ba siyang path na ganun? Kasi hanggang ngayon nagsisinungaling pa rin eh. Ang dami hindi pa rin nagano pero meron bang path na pwede siyang maging possible state witness?
Dagdag
for
sa
this case?
tanong ni Mark, Justice, kung yung may implicate na principals are foreigners, no, hindi mga Pilipino, ay si Alice Guo ba ay pwede pa ring mag-invoke na witness protection? Dahil hindi naman mga Pinoy yung
Pinoy,
possible principals.
boss,
yeah.
No?
Ang ano lang, as long as she is not the most guilty,
Kahit foreigners yung mas
Yeah,
guilty.
yeah. kahit nasa abroad yung mga-
yeah, because we probably want to know who are really the principals, no? But if she doesn't talk, well, the most guilty will be her, no? Wala tayong alam kung who else will be there.
Yo, speaking of foreign powers, China, what is your read of the latest incident? Kasi yung favorite columnist ni Ronald Capon, excited for China. China outsmarted Marcos Jr. Talaga, it's amazing, no? We have people here who are cheering for China, who are happy for China. Like, China, thank you for taking away. You embarrass Marcos. I so hate Marcos. I rather have China of that place. Diba? Surrender daw sa...
Sulat siya ng column, ini-affirm niya ay yung mas pa siya, mas gangho pa siya eh. Kaya sa
mga Chinese hawks.
Foreign Affairs Ministry ng China, no?
Medyo global times yung kalaban niya eh. Karibal niya eh. Medyo...
at madalas siya lumalamang pa siya.
medyo...
Bobby Tiglao.
ano siya, Supra Times. Supra Times. Kaya nga sabi ko, Jonathan Morales to eh.
Nalaman ko na.
Justice, now you see where I come from. Now you see my dilemma.
Hindi ko alam kanina yung pinag-uusapan. Si Bobby Tiglao pa.
Nakalusot na nga eh. Ayan. Sumikat pa. No, for me, it's not even worth, natatawa lang ako. Yes, Justice.
Well, you have to understand that's coming from a guy who said that the arbitral award is null and void. So, he has taken the line of China completely. So
I wonder why. No? I wonder why.
So, wala tayong magawa because he said that the arbitral award is null and void, then talagang ano yan, on the side of China talaga yan.
Pero yung newspaper na yan, di ba may mga editorial na ngayon na inatak pa si Digong as agent of China. What's going on with that newspaper? I was like, it's weird. I mean, we know what was going on during, yung nilagay kayong dalawa sa Matrix, di ba? Ako yung wala eh, si Jollibee pa nga. Nilagay ka ba sa Matrix dati? Hindi, no?
Hindi.
Yung Matrix na, ikaw nilagay ka. Tumakas.
Pero Manila Times kasi, siyempre, mga may-ari.
Ayan na naman tayo eh. Ayan tayo. Man, where is...
Ang mga may-ari na, mga negosyante rin eh. So, they have to balance eh.
Kanina.
They have to balance eh.
Wala nang plausible deniability sa mundo.
Huwag kang mag-alala, I'll take the cudgels for you.
No, I don't. Paalala po, Ronald Llamas is not the legal, Ikaw, Justice, what's your take? Surrender ba yung nangyari sa Skoda Shoal? Na-outsmart na ba tayo ng China? Tapos na bang laban? Should we bring out the red carpet for victorious Chinese friends? Mga ganun.
Well, we did not surrender, no. We had to leave. Teresa Magbano had to leave because
5 months na.
Yeah, 5 months there were low on supplies.
Yeah.
Some of their people were sick.
Yeah.
And also there was an inclement weather coming.
Yes.
So it was justified to leave, but it doesn't mean that we surrendered. I think we sent a ship
And
there
you,
to replace a
put
smaller ship, 44 meter, but I think it encountered a problem because it was blocked by the Chinese. No? So I've been saying, let's file another arbitration case, because once an arbitration case is filed, there's a principle that the parties should not aggravate the dispute. So if China will ram again our ships, that's
Bad faith
aggravating
na
the
sila,
dispute.
yeah.
Bad faith, the court will get mad at
Yari
them.
sila.
That's exactly what happened in the 2016 arbitral award. No. Second, we should accept the U.S. offer to escort.
Yeah.
Because the plan of China is to ram our ships, butasan nila, and we run out of ships, of Coast Guard
Mission
vessels,
kill.
because we have only two 97-meter Coast Guard
TCG,
vessels, and one will be out of commission for, maybe it will take 5 to 6 months to repair. So, talagang mauubos yung ating Coast Guard vessels doon. So, to counter that plan of China to decapitate our ship, let's have the escort.
At tungkol dyan sa second arbitral case na posible justice, paano last year kasi mas umaandar yan eh. No? Ngayon parang hindi na pinag-uusapan eh. Sa government circles. Ano bang, from your vantage point, anong tingin nyo yung possibility
POJ,
niyan?
mga ganun.
Well,
Dahil hindi naman tayo magsasampa niyan eh. Yung gobyerno magsasampa eh. No?
Yeah, that's right. Well, yung when they're talking of a second case in the wave several months back, they were talking of damage to the environment, na sinira raw yung coral reef. But I said, you need a marine scientific assessment that the damage was caused by man and not by a tsunami or typhoon or anything natural, no? Kasi nobody saw it eh.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to prove to the tribunal that it was the Chinese, tatanungin nila, what's your proof?
Yeah. And the body conducting that should be neutral, not Filipino, not
So we should
not
have,
American, whatever. Yeah.
we should have our own assessment, and we should get a foreign group to do also the assessment, because the tribunal will get their own, and they can compare, no? So for filing that case, the most important document that we must present will be the marine scientific assessment. And we have not done that. So we cannot move forward on that. In the meantime, nagbanggaan, binutasan na yung ating Coast Guard vessel. We can now ask for damages. It's easier because we have the video, we have the people to testify, all the pictures. So we can ask for damages. We can file that, and let's say we're awarded $1 million. China will not pay. But may utang tayo sa China eh. Because of the Kaliwa Dam.
Ibabawas.
Pwedeng ibawas.
Oo.
Ano
So,
ba hostage taking on? Medyo hostage exchange ba ito? May utang ako, may utang ka.
Pero may pagka-punitive yun.
Yun nga eh,
but China dreads another arbitration case because the world will rally behind an arbitral award, just like in the 2016. And that's why Wu Shikun said, we must stop the Philippines from filing another case. Sinabi niya yun That means they really dread, because if there's another arbitral award against, talagang everybody will say, talagang wala yung
Pero tatanggapin ba ng UNCLOS yung isang damage, damages?
Yeah, they will.
So we'll build on the 2016 arbitral tribunal.
Yes, that
because
will be
they were
on
found
top.
of violating environment. But speaking of this, I mean, can't we just leverage the threat of arbitration? Don't you think
we've already...
You think we're past that point?
Yeah, we're past that point, no?
Baka they just don't think it's credible threat. Maybe to make the threat more credible, make some moves.
Well, I think we should just go on, because the arbitral award will be another rallying point for the rest of the world. No?
But when you say rest of the world, I mean, China has a lot of countries in its pockets. No offense to these countries, right? I mean, let's start with ASEAN. Who do you think will back us up?
Well, the ASEAN, although Vietnam is really, in a way, invoking also the award, because they say that the Nine Dash Line is a fiction, and also Malaysia, without really saying, without really citing the arbitral award. But of course, everybody knows that that's their basis. It's only Indonesia that said that's under the arbitral award. That's a fiction. So, but their scholars say that, but the official line of the government is they don't mention it, but they're saying it's a fiction without saying why.
Right. Now, let's go to the last part of this discussion.
May pahabol lang.
Yes, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Back to sa
Yes, sir.
sa Magbanwa na pinag-usapan natin kanina. Justice, for the past 3 weeks, pinag-uusapan na natin na kulang sa pagkain, kulang sa tubig, kulang sa supplies yung Teresa Magbanwa. Kaya hindi surprising yung kanilang dire straits. Bakit hindi preposition yung papalit earlier? Bakit
Hinintay pa na
bakit
talaga,
pinaalis
oo.
muna bago nagpapunta?
Oo.
So, madaling harangan, no? Yun yung tanong ko eh. Is it a tactical mistake? Is it a ano ba yung naging problema?
Well, because remember we sent the smaller ship yung BRP Engaño.
Yeah.
Those are 44 meters, no?
44
Almost
meters.
And
half.
they were stopped.
Yeah.
They were stopped.
Yes,
So if we
twice.
send another 44 meter, it will be stopped.
Yeah.
That's why unless we get the Americans to join us there, but we have not yet made that decision. So pag nagpadala tayo, haharangin din.
Why not Navy? Naval warships, BRP.
That's another
Haharangin din yun.
that's another decision point because we have not yet made that decision to send the Navy. No? We're
Kasi
using,
that's the position, Admiral, na actually if you use Navy, magdadalawang isip on China to block it. And these are bigger ships we have
Hindi,
with the
pero
Navy.
there are 7 PLA Navy vessels doon. No?
You have to take a risk
there
at
are
some
more
point,
than
yeah.
12 na
Yeah.
Coast Guard and there are more than 50 na militia.
Militia, yeah.
So lahat meron eh.
so, but if you look at what happened in Malaysia when they sent their survey and drill ship to the EEZ and China said you cannot do that, that's within the 10-dash line. Pinadala pa rin nila and the US and Australian warships were there.
They did joint patrols.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was a joint patrol but they were there conducting
Yeah.
naval drills kasi they have
Kumbaga malapit
freedom of
sila.
navigation.
Yeah. 2021,
So walang
yeah.
nagawa yung
Yeah.
Chinese Coast Guard.
So for you, that's
really
that's template.
That's a template for
Yeah.
a successful
And
resupply.
unlike Malaysia, we're a treaty ally, so the US will have to come in. They have no
Yeah.
choice.
Of course, Malaysia will not admit it, but that was arranged behind the scene. Behind the scene, no, that the U.S. will be there conducting naval drills at the same
May
time.
orchestration.
That was orchestrated.
Justice, what is the status of the Escoda Shoal? I mean, do we have any troops presence there? Can we build facilities? Can we ground another warship? Kasi we keep on hearing, di ba, nung utak forum natin na akala daw ng China, baka magbibuild din tayo ng BRP Sierra Madre natin. What is our presence there?
Well, right now we don't have a presence because the other 44-meter boat that we sent was blocked, no?
Yeah.
But the Skoda Shoal has many entrances.
Two
So,
entrances, I
yeah, it's
understand.
easy
From
to
east and
enter.
west. Yeah.
It's easy to enter, so it's not like Scarborough Shoal. There's only one entrance.
Yeah, one lagoon. Oo.
So we can go back there, no? And we can go back there with a big ship like the Magbanwa, Teresa Magbanwa.
Yeah.
No? Or Melchora,
I mean, this is
no?
just 70 nautical miles from Palawan. It's just too close to us for us to
Yes,
give up
yes.
to the Chinese. If they build
Yeah.
facilities military there, it's too much. It's too
Ang
close to
problema
us.
lang natin dyan, malaki nga yung Escoda eh. Pero ang kaibahan lang, ang dami ring Chinese vessels na
Yeah.
nakapan ngayon.
71.
Oo.
Oo.
At pwede pa nilang dagdagan.
Of course,
No?
because they are 200 in the air,
Yes.
203 in the air.
Yun
last
lang yung
month.
problema natin. Kahit malaki yung Escoda, pwede nilang i-flood dyan ng mga vessels.
Yung
nila.
preponderance
Unlike us.
of force.
Unlike us.
Yeah. Kaya nga, just the same, maybe the Americans have to come in. Admiral Ong kahapon was saying maybe the Navy has to step in. So, hindi siya madali. But we have options. There are toolkits there, right? And
Yeah,
you're saying arbitration probably should also come in. Yeah.
I think it's time to bring in the arbitration
Yeah.
already.
To get their attention, no? To get
And
we're serious
because
people.
The world will rally behind an arbitral award, no?
Pero a week ago, nagkaroon na naman tayo ng bilateral meeting sa Beijing. No? Ostensibly, to build on the agreement sa Ayungin. No?
Provisional.
Pero how feasible ba, Justice, na meron kang agreement sa Ayungin, pero meron kang heightened aggression sa Scarborough, sa Escoda, sa Sabina, no? So how tenable, 'di ba? Parang
Sinasalami slice ba nila tayo
ba,
or what's going on?
Is this naive for the government to expect na pwedeng magkaroon pa ng similar agreement like sa Ayungin sa
Well,
ibang bahagi ng West Philippine Sea?
First of all, the Chinese look at the West Philippine Sea as a whole.
Yes.
Right.
So
integrated theater.
Yeah, we may have an agreement here, but the rest of the area we're still claiming it.
Mm.
Secondly, I'm not happy with that agreement.
Yeah, I heard.
Because that agreement, in effect, says we cannot resupply unless we hold a meeting first with the Chinese.
Coordination-ish.
Yeah. So, in other words, China has a veto power. If because right now we have sovereign rights, we can go there anytime to resupply.
Yes.
But what we're doing is we are weakening that right by saying we'll do that only if we meet with the Chinese. So it's not, as if we are cutting down our rights.
We're
Because
tying
of
our own hands behind
we're
our own
tying
back.
our own hands.
Yeah.
So I said, we better not continue with that.
Right.
Much less expand it, because China will say, oh, you agreed we have some rights.
Yun nga eh. So it's a de facto recognition of their
De facto,
questionable.
yes.
Yeah,
So we should
their
not do it.
But I think what happened, again, to be fair, because I interviewed si Ambassador Manalo also on this, his stance was we didn't compromise or anything like that. He I think even his question whether he's saying no coordination whatsoever. So actually, I don't know what really was agreed upon. It's like there's not even an agreement to agree to disagree. Like, right? It's what the
There was no agreement because China is saying, no, this was the agreement. We
And they said, no,
that's
it's not,
exactly.
yeah.
So there was, first of all, there was no
Yeah.
agreement. So if you want to expand it, what are you
So
expanding?
baka we have to just Harry Roque them. Squid game lang, di ba? Yung parang what Harry does to us, ihari natin ng China. Hindi, may ano tayo, may ito na lang. You never know, it might work, right? I think we can squid them the Chinese also. Maybe we can send Harry Roque to negotiate. Ay, hindi pala, ano siya. May POGO angle. Last part.
China eats squid.
Yeah.
They're the biggest eater of squid sa buong mundo. Kaya
Maghanap tayo ng ibang
hindi mo sila pwedeng
O nga, no, they like,
Yeah,
delikado tayo dyan, o nga, no.
even sa Latin America, they're
Yeah,
harvesting
Rewind.
They have a sea of ink to throw.
Yeah, yun nga. Yeah. So last part, very shortly, Sara Duterte. Can we talk about Sara Duterte a bit? Okay, last time we discussed Sara Duterte, I said something like she seems like a poor copy of an original poor political entity, right? But in fairness, yung latest niya, I think she came in quite strong and just shut down the whole thing and saying, ayan na, I can see, kasi now I'm a DDS fan. I'm a DDS hero. Kasi sabi ko,
DDS pro Sara lang.
oh, bro, I don't care for anyone except Sarah. I was very impressed kay Sarah kasi ang galing niya magbasa sa cellphone. Ang galing ng cellphone niya, siguro Huawei. Ang galing nung binasa niya sa cellphone. I think that was the best statement that ever came out of the OVP office of Sara Duterte. No, immediately shut down. Tapos yung congressman, si Sara, binambabuzel niya yung congressman. Bakit? Di naman ako Rosas lang peso. Okay, tapos gano'n na lang siya, kinarin lang, tapos walk out na. Tapos si Ma'am Arroyo pa na ng hair, can we take a break? Tapos nagbulong-bulong. Like, what?
dapat sinabi sa kanila isa o dalawa doon sa mga congressista ron. What's so difficult about taking an oath?
Yun nga like, ayaw mo mag-sabi ng katotohanan.
Parang walang direct na conflict.
Yun
to
nga
tell the truth, but nothing but the truth, so help you God.
What's so hard with
difficult
that?
about that? No? Tapos sasabihin mo na hindi ka humihingi ng special treatment. By not taking that oath, you already are asking for special treatment.
Yeah.
No? So ang daming pwedeng ibutas doon sa kanyang kwan. Medyo hindi lang ganun ka-sharp yung mga kongresista. Medyo lang.
Hindi ko na i-defend si Sarah. Mark, ikaw, ano basa mo?
Kasi yung, ang pinakapunto dito, the whole exercise of getting Sara dyan as a resource person or witness is yung ano siya yung showmanship of it all Yun you're not going to get anything. Kumbaga yun nga yung sinabi ni Sara, ano lang naman to So kung alam nyo naman lahat na this is all for showmanship, di ba? Ba't hindi nyo din paghandaan?
Right.
Bakit why did parang Sara have to make some of the congressmen look weak?
Right.
Diba? Pag iba yung resource person, sinasabon nila. Napakaano nila nung si Sara nga, parang yung iba sa kanila tumitiklop na.
Yeah, na-intimidate sila
Sabi ni Congressman Chu, respect daw for the office. Yun ang sabi niya. Tinanong ko yung kay Congressman Chu, bakit sa iba pwede nyo i-contempt? Bakit ito hindi man lang?
So, special treatment.
There's a respectful way na makipagbardagulan.
Yeah.
So,
like si Justice. Okay, Justice, go ahead. Do your respectful bardagulan.
Well, I think nagulat sila, no?
Yeah.
They were not prepared for that kind
For a
of
prepared Sarah.
yeah,
They were not
prepared.
prepared for a prepared Sarah. In fairness.
So they
yeah.
have to prepare
See?
next time.
See, I'm right. Sarah was better prepared. Galing niya magbasa
Pero
sa
hindi mo naman
cellphone.
kinakailangan
Ang labas na ni Sarah eh.
hindi mo kinakailangan ng masyadong preparation para sabihin
Para
na
magbasa.
ang resource persons has to take an oath, no? Hindi lang witness,
So,
no?
so ano ba talaga? Kasi di ba sabi ni
hindi
Chua,
kailangan ng preparasyon doon eh.
no, so should she take an oath even if she's not
Oo nga.
if she's just a resource person, hindi naman siya inakusa, hindi naman
Sa
siya
rules
witness.
daw.
Yeah.
Witness lang daw ang
I know hindi kayo
Hindi.
naging legislative.
Tinanong ko sila, tsaka tinanong ko rin yung Senate. Hindi pwede magkaiba yung rules ng Senate sa House sa resource person tsaka sa witness.
I think catch all dapat yung sinabi niya na applicable whether ikaw yung kasiong or
Una ko
hindi.
narinig yan, nagtawag ako eh.
Yeah.
Sabi ko, ano ba to?
So bakit nakalusot lang sa
Oo.
I mean what is your read of that whole performance or that hearing? Oh.
Well, nagulat ni Sara yung mga yung
Di ba?
mga-
Prepared siya.
Yeah, congressman, wala silang for example on the whether she needs to take the oath or not. No?
Yun pa lang, wala.
Their response was not forceful.
Yeah. Ang paliwanag ni Chairman Chua, Congressman Chua, ay bago lang naman siya. Parang first time
Well,
na head ng committee, no? Something like that. So,
Yeah. Kaka-upgrade.
Ang
Pinalabas
sabi
ka
ko
na.
nga, Sarah has only one move. She has only one may isang lang siya, may isang mode lang siya which is parang spoiled brat, magbratinela.
Yeah.
So basang-basa mo dapat eh. She did that sa Senado.
Yeah, that was a
She did that
predictable
nung
move, yeah.
parang
huling
parang
Congress
nung
hearing.
una niyang harap,
Oh.
dinepensahan siya ni
Lisa.
ni Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, no, GMA, na hindi pwedeng dapat ang pinag-uusapan yung 2025 budget. Alam ni former Speaker Arroyo na hindi na pwedeng balikan yung mga nakaraang mga taon, pwedeng i-compare, no? Pero nung simula nakalusot dahil wala masyadong nag-engage, di ba? Parang na-intimidate na-intimidate. Yun yung sinasabi ni Justice na kailangan mas mag-prepare pa sila, no, ng maayos. Pero bahagi nito ay hindi lang preparasyon eh. Bahagi nito ay stock knowledge eh. Dapat alam mo yung mga rules na ganyan.
Yeah, briefings, basic briefings. and-
Dapat you bring the people na may stock knowledge eh, ganun.
But wait lang, we can do that in our... Patapusin muna natin yung guest natin. Relax lang kayo dyan. Just on the last note, okay, Justice, so sinasabi nila kami ni Ronald ay sensationalist kasi impeachment kami ng impeachment. At the same time, pinapagalitan din tayong dalawa kasi sabi natin ICC September. Paubos na yung September, mawala na kami ng kredibilidad. Kaya nag-Sara na ako eh. Team Sara na ako para may pag-asa na tayo as political analyst. Justice, ano bang marites natin? We had some of the key lawyers who are informed, sabi na they're calling now on the ICC to move faster now on this. So we're not the only one expecting something on ICC front, right?
Well, we said that it was likely to be issued September, but of course we didn't say for sure.
For sure, yan. See? Problem solved. We didn't say 100%.
Wala pwede magsabi sa ICC ng exact timeline.
Wala. Oh, pero yun ang dapat timeline, 'di ba? More or less before the end of the year, 'di ba?
Yes.
Yun yung inaasahan natin.
In terms of administrative and di ba? If you look at the schedule and everything, my understanding is everyone who knows about the legal aspects of this, they expect it now, but they just want it ahead of elections. Ahead of, October, filing of the candidacy, not elections.
Actually, pwede mong sabihin kasi na, usually 7 years yan. Pero hindi mo ma-eksakto sa buwan. Usually, yung preliminary investigation, matatapos yan. Yung institutional memory ng ICC, 7 years, lalabas na international warrant. Yun yung part. Pero yung exact month, hindi mo sigurado.
Pero hindi yung year ang basis, di ba? Ang basis na is since naging formal na yung investigations, di ba? And then from there, you can count it from what I understand. Okay, I can see Justice is also saying, wag mo ako ipahamak. Alright. No, guys, it will come. Don't worry, it will come. No, it's the same with the arbitration case, di ba? We were expecting it to come 2015. Panon yun, di ba?
Yeah.
Eventually, it came but a few months later, including later than Pinoy, once Pinoy was out.
Yes.
So actually, this is not the first time this is happening. More or less, it happened with a few months up and
These
down.
are international bodies.
Yeah, we
composed of
cannot
different
control.
countries, no?
Yeah, we cannot
Yeah,
control.
no.
But just as if ever there's a red notice by Interpol this month or next month, do you think that could be a game changer? Kasi parang sablay na impeachment proceedings. I don't think that will prosper under current conditions.
What will not prosper?
Yung impeachment before midterms. Because 2 weeks ago, some people very optimistic about the momentum. Ngayon, nawivisit na iba. Like si Sunny, di ba? Ako nang ganun dyan, di ba?
Siya na magka-fight.
Oo. Through sponsors.
Well, I don't know when they will file, if ever they will file, because we don't know really what they have in mind. But on the red notice, it follows the same procedure as the extradition.
It has to go through a court again and
Yes, it
determine
does.
its applicability. Yeah, exactly.
The DOJ will have to file a petition with the RTC, and
Same.
that takes a lot of time.
Again.
Because it goes to the CA,
Yes.
it goes to the Supreme Court, where 13 of the 15 justices.
Were appointed by Duterte.
Yes.
Well, I think on that note, I won't put any adjective on that somber note. I won't say sobering. Thank you so much, Justice
Okay,
Carpio, for giving your
thank you
time.
for having me.
Really, really appreciate your time. That was very, very traffic day. Any final questions and notes from my
Pasensya na, Justice, sa
Pinahamak ka namin.
traffic. Oh.
Oo.
Labang pa nakatira si Justice. Layo.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Justice. Baka may masabi si Ronald. Off ko na latan to. Usually, the worst things are